you for joining us today on A Certain Sound. What a delight it is to come to you each and every day. One more time, Matthew chapter 4, beginning with verse 1. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And that's just what it says. Now, there's a lot of background that goes into this. There's a lot more that hasn't been said. And this, like I said, this is inexhaustible. I'm just trying to bring some very basic points to you out of this text that speak to my life. Number one, in the will of God. We're talking about the circle of the will of God right now. Everything in the circle is the will of God. Everything outside the circle is not the will of God. Jesus was always in the circle. Is that not where you want to remain? I do. But in the will of God, wilderness experiences are inevitable. Number two, in the will of God, nothing is accidental. And number three, staying within the will of God is indispensable. It's indispensable to your walk with God. It's indispensable to your being sustained. It's indispensable to your being a success. Staying within the will of God for your life is indispensable to your security as a believer. And I'm not just talking about your salvation. I'm talking about your position, even in this life, in this world, even in the church you pastor, even in the job you work at. Remaining within the will of God is indispensable to your safety. Remaining within the will of God is indispensable to your satisfaction in this life. So it's vital that we remain in the circle. Aren't you glad Jesus stayed in the circle? Because he did. He died on the cross for your sin and for mine. And the point is, I'm saved today because Jesus refused to be disloyal to the will of God. As Satan tried to tempt him to step outside that circle, he came back with the word of God and said, okay? He said, it is written. And friend, if it is written was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for us. May this Bible be a weapon in our hand that we can use. We're going to have to get to know it. We're going to have to get to see it. It's going to have to become a part of our lives so that when the enemy comes in like a flood, the word of God will just come out. The Spirit of the Lord that anointed Jesus when he got on this wilderness experience and journey, the same Spirit of God that came upon him before he went in is the same Spirit of God that will help us when we're in it so that we can bring the word of God and say, it is written. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to the pulling down of the strongholds of Satan. Jesus used the word of God. He wants us to know that the same Bible he had is the same one we've got. And may we get to know his word and use it as a weapon in our hand. Friend, in the will of God, staying within the confines of the will of God is indispensable to your walk with God. It's a necessity if you're going to be sustained by him, if you're going to be a success in him, if you're going to be secure in him, and if you're going to be safe and satisfied in Jesus Christ. Never forget, a wilderness experience is inevitable, but nothing is accidental, and staying is indispensable.
Thank you for watching A Certain Sound Daily Video Devotional. Be sure to sign up for the iTunes podcast or daily email of A Certain Sound when you visit us online at www.acertainsound.com. A Certain Sound is a ministry of Word of Truth Christian Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. On behalf of Word of Truth Christian Center, I'm Sonetta. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.